Okay, so today we got the Retrobit Generations plug and play console. Taking a look at the packaging. Packaging looks alright, pretty flashy, but overall pretty cheap feeling with all these stickers and, just weird stuff they did to the box. Overall, it's got a lot of information on here, over 100 games. But as you see, I'm pointing at, a lot of the stuff, there's stickers over it that are covering, previous revisions of the system before it was released. I'm not 100% with that, but yeah, even right here, there's sticker over a stick, sticker over a sticker covering the games, how many games were included. So I don't know what this company was doing, but let's go ahead and unbox it and take a look. See what we got inside. It does say she is HDMI and AV ready. Open her up upside down. That's okay. The packaging, it feels like a cheap Chinese clone system, not a system that would be sold in stores in the US anyway. But I can't really knock it. Age is 10 plus. If you're 9, get the heck out of here. It's not for you. But we do got full English manual. It has some health warnings. Tells you how to hook everything up. Oh, that's nice. At least we got an English manual. Then going ahead and getting this system out. The system doesn't look or feel overly cheap to me. It has a nice little power button as well. Feels pretty nice. 2 USB inputs for controls. Says controller 1 and controller 2. In the back we do have our AV out, power button, HDMI, and an SD card slot. Pretty nifty. Like I said, it has a little weight to it. Doesn't feel overly cheap, so that's a good thing. And then we do get our power plug included, but unfortunately it's not a micro USB like we're used to, or a mini USB. But that's alright. We get our AV plugs for the back. We get our 2 controllers. No included HDMI cable. That is unfortunate. But we do get these 2 SEGA Genesis style 6-button controllers. Very reminiscent of the Hyperkin SEGA Genesis controllers that they make that have the USB input. Overall, it feels very nice, very similar in feel and quality to the Hyperkin versions. So that's a definite plus. You do get the mode button instead of a select. Pretty lengthy cord for the system. I believe the cord is about 9 feet. But yeah, controller feels really good. So with all that unboxed, everything taken out, go ahead and plug her in, take a look, see what the front end looks like, and get that party started. So let's do it. Okay guys, so here she is, booting up the Retrobit Generations. Now the first thing you're going to notice, pretty bland front end. Not a big deal, it's all about the games anyway, so who really cares about that? One issue I want to point out before we take a look at these games and talk about it a little bit is that for a while, for the past 15 minutes, I've been having an issue with this system. And what it was I would scroll through, maybe start a game, maybe just scroll through, but every few games that I would scroll through, the system would freeze. It would go into this menu, and I'm going into it purposefully now. This is not an accident. But it would go into the settings menu. I couldn't move up and down. I couldn't exit anything. It would just freeze. And it wasn't that I pushed anything on the controller. So I was unsure of what that issue was. I was like, is my system defective? What's going on? So I swapped out the extra controller, and now I'm not having that issue. It's not happening. So I feel as if I got some kind of defective controller, even though there is a QC label on the back that says, it passed the quality control check. I don't know who checked it. Might have, not even bothered. They just put the sticker on there to make you feel good or something. I don't know. But yes, That was the issue, it seems. Defective controller was causing my system to freeze. Now it's not freezing. I do have an exchange coming, so I'm definitely going to make sure I have 2 working controllers and my system doesn't falter at all. So that's, Amazon's going to send me the replacement. I have 30 days to mail back my return. So I'm definitely going to make sure I get a set of good working controllers out of that. That was one issue that I did not see going through the reviews, because the reviews are very mixed on this console. When you look at Amazon or even anywhere else, YouTube reviews and whatnot, it's very mixed, negative, positive, kind of in between. Me, the way I'm looking at it was, this is a $60 system. This came out the day before the NES Classic was dropped. This was meant to compete with it. They're like, hey, look, we've got 90 plus games. We got 100 plus games, whatever. NES Classic only has 30. What you talking about? Come and get some of this action instead. Great idea. Awesome idea. Are the contents of the games as quality as what was on the NES Classic? No. In my opinion, no. Not whatsoever. There's a lot of awesome games on the Retrobit generations, but the over 100 games that they put on here that I have looked through, most of them, I have no clue what these games are. A lot of them I do. A lot of them are awesome classics. Can't deny it. I don't know what the hell Creepy Bird is. It's a Flappy Bird clone. Never heard of it before. Extra little junk they've thrown on here. So there's a lot of little stuff. You're going to get a mix of junk, quality games, games that you've never heard of. You're going to get Game Boy games, SEGA games, Super, it's a mix of games from different systems. And, it's cool. You get a lot of stuff, but is the quality there? No. As far as the games, no, I don't think so. The system looks nice, in my opinion. It looks like, hey, if I didn't even want to bother with this Retrobit Generations front end, I could easily gut this, use the power switch that's already in there, and put a Pi 3 in this bad boy, and have a cool little setup, resolder to the USB connections. Very easily done. So that's definitely a possibility, but a lot of people are going to be looking at this now, and this is why I chose to look at this now versus a while ago, because I had no interest in the past. But a lot of people are going to look at this now as a possible, possibly settling for the lesser system because they can't get an NES Classic, or they don't want to pay these fools $300, $250, whatever the case may be. They may be looking at it like, hey, there's some cool games on here. I can't get an NES Classic, but I can get the Retrobit Generations. That's definitely going to work out in the favor for Retrobit if they continue to produce this. Mine, I did not pay $60 for. I paid $15 for it. I would never pay $60 for this system, but you can easily find it anywhere in the range of $20 to $40, which I feel is okay. It's fair for a plug-and-play system. The other thing I want to point out is this system is easily hacked. There's a little key bin file that you put on a not a micro SD. You can put it on a micro SD or a standard SD card, as long as you have the adapter for the micro SD. Pop that bad boy in the back. Your system is pretty much hacked. Throw on some ROMs onto that SD card. It's not going to support everything like a Raspberry Pi will, but you can get some arcade games. You can get some Genesis games, Nintendo, Super Nintendo. You can get some good stuff on here on the cheap if you don't really want to, go crazy with it. You could add some games to this system. So with all that said, let's just go ahead and dive into some of these games. So from what I've seen, Bionic Commando, there's some glitches in the game. I did play it for a few minutes. I didn't get any glitches, but that's one of the complaints with this system. The other complaint is going to be this game, Varth. Let me find it. These are the only 2 games I've really heard complaints about. So if those are the games that you wanted and want this system because of, then maybe you're not going to want it. So this game, Varth, let's go ahead and start her up. So getting in here, you see the screen is laid sideways. It should be going the other way. It's a vertical shooter, but for whatever reason, they have it laid out this way. Very playable, still works just fine, but it's just not laid out the way it should be for whatever reason. But like I said, you can still play it. Still enjoyable. You know, if you really want to play it the way it was meant to, you're going to have to, you know, flip your TV on its side. Or on one of the sides, yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to point this game out. Okay. So like I said, there's a lot of games on here I have no idea. Like this is just some tacked on game. This I've never heard of. I don't know what this is. Some of these screenshots don't really give you a good idea. Sort of Sodan. See, these guys are kissing on screen. I guess it's a game about, you know, make love, not war. I don't know. Super R-Type, Super Noah's Ark. Let's go ahead and check out Super Noah's Ark. Start her up, jump into her, get this party started. It's designed and produced by Wisdom Tree. And it did have the Nintendo name in the first page there. It's kind of interesting. So essentially this is going to be like a Wolfenstein clone, but, you know, biblical stuff. Instead of a gun, you got a slingshot. And you got goats going after you. I guess you're putting them to sleep or something. I don't know. Very weird. You're picking up fruit. Very interesting game. You know, kid-friendly Doom Wolfenstein clone. You get to pop goats in the head with a slingshot. So that's kind of cool. Super Ghouls and Ghosts, so you get the Super Nintendo version and you get the arcade version. Super Earth Defense Force, pretty cool game. Super Alfred Chicken, you also get the Game Boy version of that game. There's a lot of that where there's Game Boy versions of stuff on here, which doesn't really make a lot of sense, but, you know, it's fine. You know, a little Japanese beat 'em up. Another Game Boy game, you know, so you get the Game Boy game and the original version. It's just wasted space in my opinion. Ring King. You know, some people like it, some people don't. I'm not a big fan of the game, but hey, it is what it is. Well, with that said, you know, some good games, some crap games. Overall, the system, a lot of the games have sound issues. Some of them don't. Some of them it's not a big deal. Overall, though, I'm going to have to give this system a thumbs down unless you can get it for a price within reason. Like I did, 15 to 20 bucks is fair, especially if you want to repurpose the system. If you want to get this as a consolation to getting an NES Classic, no. Get yourself a Raspberry Pi, install RetroPie or Recall Box. Take a look at my channel. There's various other channels like Drew Talks, ETA Prime, that have tutorials. You know, check their channels out. Appreciate it if you check mine out as well. Get hooked up on that. You won't regret it. Just, you know, the NES Classic, it is what it is. You don't want to pay these scalpers these crazy fees, but you want to get your retro game on, get that Pi 3 going. Can't stress it enough. I'll also be doing a couple more videos on other options in the near future, but just a heads up, my recommendation is going to be get a Raspberry Pi 3. So with that said, smash that like button. Hope you guys appreciate the video. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Catch you guys next time. Boom.